getting ready to go to the marketplace is often difficult in assessing, the hardest part is the owner ready? The owner is, a complex person who's been an entrepreneur for many years, has been successful, taken a lot of risks, and, usually been financially rewarded for those risks. Now, after 20, 30 years of running and operating their family business, they're looking to the world saying, I really want to find someone to give me liquidity for this business and take off some of the burden that might be attached to it. And that's a challenge. In helping them get prepared for that, they can't be the business. They have to have talent that sits around them that the buyers are going to be able to leverage to produce the results going forward. So if you are the sole entrepreneur running the business every day, you essentially are the business, and it's very hard to transition that. Relative to market being ready, we're sitting in a wonderful M&A period of time right now. Low interest rates, low cap gains rates, a strong, vibrant economy, and buyers outnumbering sellers by a large amount, and tremendous amounts of cash on the sidelines. All of these things lead to a wonderful opportunity for being market ready. 5 years from now, that might not be true, but today it is. And as we look at, is the owner ready, is the business ready, and is the market ready? The last part is the business ready. And financial and accounting due diligence, being well prepared, making sure you have contracts in place, low customer concentration, things that generally make it more financeable. One of the largest components to an M&A transaction is finance. And if a bank isn't going to find this business exciting, many buyers aren't going to be finding it as exciting as well because they can't get leverage on the transaction. Not every transaction requires an owner not to be a part of the business. Most of our owners really are approaching transition with the hope of staying involved for some period of time. They're usually pretty involved in their business, they're pretty important, and these are their friends. These are the people they've spent the last 30 years of their life being around, probably more time than they spend with their spouse. And so what we find is that the recapitalization, whether it's majority or minority recapitalization, is a very good tool to allow that to happen. We're working on a transaction right now for an $80 million business that's desiring to have a recapitalization. He would like to be in the business for 5 more years. He wants to find a partner. And the people that are at the table are both strategic and financial, but he's assessing and sitting across the table through dinners and management presentations to make sure that he fits with them, make sure that it feels right, make sure that when he asks a question, they respond in a way that is similar to their culture. And so kind of like a dating service, you will, of trying to find the right fit between person A and person B, it's got a lot of similarities to that. As we talk about an owner going forward and the realization that he will no longer have full autonomous control to do as he wishes, it has many implications. The first of is financial. Many owners' pocketbooks, personally and corporately, are often the same. That obviously changes after the transaction's consummated. So getting an owner accustomed to that conversation. Owners, entrepreneurs, are really very control-oriented. So the ability to give up to control to an investment banker for a period of time to help sell your business is one level of giving up. But often the next level is you're going to have a partner in your business with a much more sophisticated governance structure. And that governance structure and that new way of operating is going to be different. Most entrepreneurs, or many entrepreneurs, really struggle with that transition of control. I think one of the other facts that's really important to consider is that we all only see the world through our lens. The ability to take a much broader perspective on the outcome of what you're looking to get accomplished, whether that's a merger, whether that's an acquisition, whether that's a buy, whether it's a sell, there's a lot of people that can be brought in as very strategic additives to the process. So for example, a strong M&A transactional attorney is something that we bring in or advise our clients to make sure they have on board before we do a transaction. The terminology and the language that we go through is very different than a traditional common lawyer might be. Additionally to that is making sure that you have great financials and historical representation, that your tax matters are done well and your financials are fair and accurate as reported. And then the last part of that is team. Reminds me of a company that we sold that was a gear manufacturing company. And several years prior, this gentleman had spent time to nurture and make sure that he brought on board somebody that can manage and control the sales relationships and the operations of the business in his absence. He incurred the additional expense 2 years prior to the business sale, but when he went to the sale process, the market recognized that he had in place the most important thing, which is somebody to run and operate the business. That bringing on of the additional person, he lost a little bit of EBITDA, but he gained and made that up in the form of multiple. The multiple expansion that we received because of that was significant, that I don't believe the business would have transacted as successfully without that right person being on board.